Hello everyone and a very warm welcome to another lesson. In this lesson, we are going to learn how to write IELTS Writing Task 1. In this lesson, we are going to use a pie chart. Now, before we begin the lesson, I would like to point out a few things about Task 1. You're supposed to write your task 1 in 20 minutes. You should write more than 150 words. IELTS writing task 1 is worth only about 33% of your total writing marks. The rest of the marks go to writing task 2. When it comes to your marking of task 1, you will be marked on task achievement, which means that you should respond to all the parts of the question. You will be assessed on coherence and cohesion. So, how you structure your paragraphs, how you use linking words, for example, how you use comparative words. The next thing you will be assessed on is your vocabulary. And finally, you will be assessed on grammar. Now, when it comes to writing task 1, for the general training student, you are usually asked to write a letter. However, for the academic students, your writing task 1 could be a report based on a chart, for example, a bar chart, a line graph, a pie chart, a table, a map, or even a diagram. So this particular writing task 1 is only meant for the academic students, because the general training students, for your writing task 1, you are only expected to write a letter. Now, let's get into our lesson. But before we do that, have you subscribed to the channel? Remember to subscribe to the channel, and I promise you, you will not regret it. This is because I always upload very helpful videos on IELTS writing and IELTS speaking. That is part 1, part 2, and part 3. But that's not all. I have some really helpful videos on grammar, tenses. So if you have a problem with your tenses, for example, I have a video. I have actually a whole playlist on the 13 tenses in English. So have a look at my playlist on grammar. I also have a playlist on vocabulary. Do you want to know how to describe people? Then have a look at my playlist on vocabulary. I have videos that will help you to develop your vocabulary in regards to how to describe people, how to describe teenagers, words to describe your boss, for example. But that's not all. I also have videos on my channel on how to speak English in different situations. For example, you want to know how to speak English when you go to the doctor, or when you go to the optician, or when you go shopping for clothes, or when you meet your neighbor outside. I have plenty of videos that will help you to improve your level of English in very different scenarios, even after you have passed your IELTS exams. Because after you've passed your IELTS exams, you want to continue to develop your level of English. Now, that's why you need to subscribe to this channel. You see, this channel is all you need to improve your level of English, whether it's for an IELTS exam or just to be able to be a confident user of the English language on your daily basis. So subscribe to the channel, and if you find this video helpful, remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with anybody who may need it. Now let's get into our lesson. So the question is, the pie charts on the left show the percentage of students joining Bristol University in the United Kingdom. The pie charts on the left, we have two of them, show the percentage of students joining Bristol University in the United Kingdom. Now, it is very important that before you start answering the question, you make sure that you understand the information that IELTS has provided you with. In our case, we have two pie charts. And these pie charts show the percentage of students joining Bristol University in the United Kingdom. We have students by faculty. We have a pie chart on the students who join the different faculties. We have engineering, science, computing, business, law, arts, and medicine. All these are different degrees. So we have students by faculty, that is one pie chart. On the other hand, we have a pie chart that shows us or explains or gives us more information about the student population in Bristol University. Okay? It gives us information about where the students are coming from, what is their background, from which countries are they coming from what ethnic backgrounds are they coming from. And we have 81 of the students are European, so they come from Europe. And then 8 of the students come from Arab countries. 3 of the students come from African countries. 5 of the students come from India. And we have 23 students who are Chinese. Okay? So on the one hand, we have a pie chart that gives us details about the students who have been admitted to the University of Bristol by faculties, that is, by the degree courses that they have registered for. And then the other pie chart gives us more details about where the students are actually coming from. Okay, so once you have understood the charts, once you have understood what the pie charts are trying to explain to you and what the link between the pie charts are, then you can begin writing your introduction. In this lesson, I'm going to teach you how to write the introduction and the overview. In the next video, I'm going to teach you how to write the other two body paragraphs. Remember, your IELTS writing task 1 should be made up of 4 paragraphs: the introduction, the overview, and 2 other body paragraphs. So in this lesson, we are only going to learn how to write the introduction and the overview. That is 2 paragraphs, okay? So I recommend once you have watched this video, you watch the next video on how to write the other 2 body paragraphs so that you have a complete essay. Now, how do you write the introduction? When it comes to your introduction of writing task 1, what you have to do is paraphrase the statement that is given to you by IELTS, okay? Paraphrase the statement that is given to you by IELTS. Now, the statement that we have here is in red. That is the information that is provided to you by IELTS with the pie charts. The pie charts on the left show the percentage of students joining Bristol University in the United Kingdom. So what you have to do is paraphrase that information. What does paraphrase mean? It means you need to rewrite that information in your own words. You just need to rewrite that statement in your own words. Okay? Now, how do you do that? Let's do it together. We are going to do it by finding synonyms of the words that are in IELTS statement. Are you ready? Shall we start? Okay. Some words like pie charts will not change. A pie chart is a pie chart. So you are not expected to change that. So the pie charts, okay, show, so show, we are going to change that and we are going to replace show with demonstrate. The pie charts demonstrate. The percentage, we are going to replace that with the proportion, okay? The proportion of students, we are going to replace that with of undergraduate students. Undergraduate students are students who are beginning their degree, okay? Once you qualify to join a university after high school, then you are an undergraduate student. And then once you've completed your degree and you want to carry on, then you carry on as a master's degree student. And then after you've completed your master's degree, if you want to carry on, then you carry on as a postgraduate student. For example, a PhD student. Okay, so you start with a degree and then a master's degree and then a PhD, okay, a doctorate. All right, so we are going to replace percentage of students with proportion of undergraduate students. Okay, joining, we are going to replace that with admitted. Okay, joining, we replace that with admitted. Okay, and then instead of writing University of Bristol University, we are going to replace that with the University of Bristol in England. So instead of Bristol University in the United Kingdom, then we have University of Bristol in England. Okay? So that is how you write the introduction. All you have to do is paraphrase the statement that has been given to you by IELTS. In other words, rewrite it in your own words. Remember, do not simply copy IELTS statement as your own. IELTS will not accept it because it is not your own. So you will not score any marks if you simply copy the pie charts on the left, show the percentage of students joining Bristol University in the United Kingdom. Instead, you need to rewrite IELTS statement in your own words. That is extremely important. Write it in your own words. And as you can see, the introduction, it is simply one sentence. I usually recommend to my students that the introduction should not be more than 1 to 2 sentences. If IELTS statement is one sentence, then simply rewrite that statement and ensure that it is also one sentence. But if you want to make it longer, then ensure that you only have 1 to 2 sentences. Remember, you only have 20 minutes to write your task 1, not a lot of time. So once you have written your introduction, then you move on and write the next paragraph, and that is the overview. Now, what should you put in the overview? In the overview, you should put all the key features. The question that the examiner is answering when they look at The overview, every single time the examiner looks at your overview, the question they're asking themselves is, what are the key features? Have you talked about the key features? What are the key features? So in your overview, you're supposed to identify the key features, okay? Now, usually I encourage students, when it comes to the overview, look at each pie chart and look at the highest. Look at the highest percentage. Who does the highest percentage belong to? The highest percentage belongs to engineering, okay? And then ask yourself, what is the lowest percentage when it comes to students by faculty? And that is, we have two of them. We have law with 4% and we have business with 4%. So in other words, when it comes to the overview, discuss the highest and the lowest, okay? Always discuss the highest and the lowest percentage, okay? So when it comes to students by faculty, the highest percentage is engineering, that is 28%. And then the lowest percentages go to law and business with 4%. So that is for the first pie chart. And then for the second pie chart, let's look at the number of students that are studying arts, okay? Art-related degrees. Where do these students come from, okay? Now, 81% of them come from Europe because 81% of them are European. And what about the least? Where do the least number of art students come from? And we can see very clearly that it is Africa, because Africa has 3 students, okay? Now, once you have identified the highest and the lowest for both pie charts, then you need to write that information in your overview, okay? So you always begin your overview with the word overall. The use of the word overall, it signals to the examiner that you're about to compare, okay? That you're about to compare information. So always begin with the word overall to signal a comparison, okay? Now, overall, comma. So the first feature that we identified is that we have 28%, the highest faculty is engineering with 28%, and the lowest is law and business with 4%. So we are now going to transfer that information into our overview. So overall, majority of the students have enrolled for an engineering degree course. Okay, majority of the students have enrolled for an engineering degree course. But remember, in the overview, you do not write any numbers. You do not write any figures, because an overview is really a general comparative paragraph, okay? So overall, majority of the students have enrolled for an engineering degree course. So we have tackled the first part of that. And now we have to do the lowest. And we saw the lowest is 4%. For law and business. So we now need to transfer that information to our overview. We use a linking word to let the examiner know that we are comparing, okay? We are comparing. So on the other hand, the least, the reason we are using on the other hand is because in the previous sentence, we are talking about the highest. And now we are talking about the least. So, on the other hand, comma, the least popular faculties are law and business. So, the most popular faculty is engineering with 28%. And on the other hand, the least popular faculties are law and business. Both of them have 4%, okay? So do not forget, okay? Do not forget to use overall to signal a comparison of the whole chart. And the next tip is use comparatives. Use comparatives. I have used majority and then list, okay? Majority and list. I'm comparing things, okay? Then after that, so I have dealt with the highest and the lowest key features for pie chart 1. And now I'll move on to pie chart 2, and I will discuss, or I will write about the highest and the lowest key feature. Remember, for the second pie chart, we saw the highest key feature is that we have 81 students who are European, who are studying arts. And then the lowest we saw is 3 for African students. So we need to transfer those key features to the overview. So we begin with the highest. The highest population of students who are studying art-related degrees, okay, art-related degrees. So art-related degrees are things like, as long as it's not science-related, then it is art, okay? For example, law, okay, so the highest population of students who are studying art-related degrees are of European descent. European descent means they come from Europe, okay? Remember, this is a Band 9 essay, so I have to use advanced vocabulary straight away in my introduction. So the highest population of students who are studying art-related degrees are of European descent, whereas, you see, I am comparing. So I have to use linking words to ensure that the examiner is aware that I am comparing the highest and the lowest key feature. So the highest population of students who are studying art-related degrees are of European descent, whereas African students make up the smallest population in Bristol University. So the highest population of students who are studying art-related degrees are of European descent. Remember, we have 81 of them. Whereas, on the other hand, African students, they comprise. Make up is a phrasal verb which means comprise. They comprise or they constitute the smallest population. So the highest population of students who are studying art-related degrees come from Europe, and the smallest student population come from Africa because we only have 3 of them, okay? So remember, when it comes to the overview, the most important thing is, first of all, look at the first pie chart, identify the highest key feature and the lowest key feature. Then write a sentence about it. And remember to use linking words to show that you're comparing the highest and the lowest key feature. And then once you have done that, move on to the second pie chart and look at the highest and the lowest key feature, and then write about it in the second sentence. Remember to use linking words, okay? So that's how you write your overview. So just to give you a recap of the things that you need to remember when it comes to writing task 1 of this particular pie chart, first thing is ensure that you understand the question, the statement that IELTS has provided you with. Look at the pie chart so that you understand what information it is that they are providing you with. Tip number 2, begin writing your introduction. And to write your introduction, all you have to do is rewrite the statement that has been given to you by IELTS. Rewrite it in your own words, but remember, do not change the meaning. Now, some words may not change, but like, for example, pie charts, but you should change, or rather rewrite the statement in your own words, okay? And you do that by finding word synonyms. Like, for example, instead of using show, we used demonstrate. Instead of using percentage, we used proportion, okay? Instead of using joining, we used admitted. Now, The next tip is when it comes to your overview, the first thing that you have to do is identify the highest and the lowest key feature. And then after that, you write a sentence about it. And remember to use overall to signal a comparison of the whole chart, okay? Then use comparatives such as the highest and the lowest, okay? Remember to use linking words. For example, I have used on the other hand, whereas, okay, to make sure that, remember this is a comparative essay, okay? So use linking words that are suitable for that. On one hand, on the other hand, okay? In my case, I have used on the other hand and I have used whereas. Okay, and then remember you're allowed, for example, remember also to use superlatives, okay? Superlatives such as the least, okay? In my case, I used the smallest, the highest, the smallest, okay? The least popular, the most popular, all right? Now, if you found this lesson helpful, then please remember, subscribe to the channel. I promise you will not regret it. Remember, I will be uploading the second part of this video, and that is how to write the main body. So if you want to have a complete essay, look out for that video. Just subscribe and turn your notification button on so that you know when I upload that video. Now, if you found this lesson helpful, also do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, okay? And share this video on all your social media platforms. So subscribe, give this video a thumbs up, and share this video on all your social media platforms. Don't keep this channel a secret anymore. Let other people also benefit from the channel. Now, remember, sharing is caring. I shared this video with you, so please share it with other people, okay? Now, thank you very much for your time and see you in our next lesson. Bye-bye.